Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been following me for a while, you know that my grandma was a goddess in the kitchen. And one thing that I absolutely loved eating when I was a child was her cabbage rolls. And that's what we're making today. Let's go. And here are the ingredients. You're gonna need ground beef and pork, an egg, some white bread, white cabbage, an onion, ketchup, tomato paste, salt, pepper, granulated garlic, nutmeg, and caraway seeds. First, you want to heat up a large pot with some water. And the pot should be large enough to fit the cabbage. And now we are going to remove the stem.
So I am taking a really sharp knife for that. Use one with a really long blade, and then I'm basically just moving my way around the stem trying to remove it. You can be very generous with the amount that you are removing, because that part is not edible anyways.
While we're waiting on the hot water, you want to prepare a bowl with some cold water. And then add some ice cubes. I am then taking a fork and I am putting the fork right into the white cabbage where I removed the stem. This will help you with the cabbage in the pot. Then place your cabbage in the hot water. Alright, the first leaves should be ready now. I'm trying to pull this away from the rest of the cabbage. And then place your leaf in the bowl with the cold water.
So do this until you have enough leaves for about 4 cabbage rolls. Then make sure to pat them dry using a paper towel. And also when you're done with this, don't throw away the water, keep a little bit, about a liter or 2 for the sauce. That way you're not throwing away all the good stuff. Okay, so unfortunately this is not the original recipe my grandma used to make. She took literally every recipe she had with her to heaven when she passed away. Which doesn't mean that these cabbage rolls don't taste as good as the ones that my grandma used to make. It's just a different recipe, so it tastes a little different. It's still very good. But it's actually kind of sad that she never wrote down any of her recipes.
Next, you want to let your bread soak up in water, and then I'm taking the centerpiece of my cabbage and just roughly chop it.
That part of the cabbage is going to be used for our sauce. That's why it doesn't matter how small or big the pieces are. We're going to mix it up later anyways. But this is going to add so much flavor to the sauce.
Then take your cabbage leaves, and then the part where the rest of the stem is, you want to just thin out a little bit, like so, because that's a little tough to eat.
So for those of you who are not familiar with the German language, we call these rolls Kohlrouladen. Kohl means cabbage and Rouladen means rolls. And when I was little, this was my favorite thing to eat, but only if my grandma made them. They were so good.
Alright, we are now taking care of the meat filling. Adding my ground beef and ground pork to a large bowl. Also adding my diced up onions. And then I'm taking my white bread and I'm squeezing out all the liquid.
The bread will make the meat very light and fluffy.
Then I'm adding my egg. And some ketchup. You could also use mustard, but I am allergic to mustard, so this is my substitution. And then season everything with salt, pepper, granulated garlic, and a pinch of nutmeg.
Go a little heavy on the seasoning. Since we're braising it, it's going to lose a lot of that seasoning. And when you over season it a little bit, it will be perfect when you take them out. If you're brave enough, you can try the meat mixture when you're done mixing it. Some people do it, and in my country it's pretty safe to eat raw pork. I'm just not a big pork fan, so I'm skipping that part. I know a bunch of countries where it's not safe to eat raw pork, so...
Alright, we are now going to make our rolls, and for that I've put my cabbage leaf into sets, so every cabbage roll has the same amount of cabbage. Then I'm taking the smallest leaf and about 1/4 of my meat mixture, forming it into a ball, and then I'm putting it in the first leaf and I'm trying to close it, and then tuck the sides in as well. Take the next bigger leaf, and with the open side you want to face it downwards and roll it up again until all the leaves are gone.
Roll them up real tight and really take your time. So when you're done with the last leaf, take some regular yarn that you would use for sewing and then just wrap it around your cabbage roll to really seal it. We are obviously going to remove that after cooking, but this will help for the cabbage to stay in place and not fall apart. So when you pick your yarn, make sure to pick a color that isn't necessarily green or brown. This will make it easier for you to remove your yarn after cooking. I've done the mistake once and it was awful. When you pick a bright color that isn't part of the color range that you're working with, you'll be able to find it a lot faster and a lot easier.
Alright, heat up a large pot with some oil. I'm using my cast iron pot, but you can use any other pot, and then sear your rolls on all sides.
Now, if you're thinking, girl, I don't have a cast iron pot, that's totally fine. Just take a regular good old pot, a bigger one, and then do the exact same thing as I'm doing in the images right now. It doesn't have to be a cast iron pot. I just use it because I like it. Now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite childhood dish is. And also hit the like button if you're a fan of the German cuisine.
Alright, I've taken all of my rolls out of the pot. I'm now adding some of my cabbage that I chopped up. Well, I can add everything, I guess. I'm then going to add about 2 tablespoons of my tomato paste, maybe 3, and let that roast. After about 2 minutes, I'm going to add my caraway seeds and let that roast as well.
So this part right here is the most important part for our sauce. This is where all the flavor starts to develop. So really make sure that your focus is on the roasting part. So if you get to the point where you're thinking, maybe I overdid it, no, that's exactly what you need for the sauce. A good sauce needs a lot of flavor. And in Germany, we love a good sauce.
I'm now going to add some water, and I'm using the water that I have used to heat up the cabbage in the beginning. Then I'm adding my cabbage roll back to the pot.
And now you see why it is important to have a large pot. It needs to be large enough to fit at least 4 cabbage rolls.
Cover it and let it braise for about an hour on medium heat.
In the meantime, you can start boiling your potatoes because that's the best thing to eat it with.
Alright, the cabbage rolls have been in here for a little bit over an hour. I'm going to take them out now, remove the yarn, and then we are taking care of the sauce.
Now take a very close look at the images. You can see the yarn and it's not the same color as the cabbage roll, so it's going to be easier for you to remove. Also, there is a very good chance that this is going to be a very messy situation. There's a good chance that there's a lot of liquid in between those layers. So when you remove the yarn, be careful because you don't know how much liquid is actually going to be in there. I mean, when I'm taking them out, I'm trying to squeeze them a little bit so the liquid in there is not as much, but there's still going to be liquid in there, trust me. Did you know that cabbage rolls are one of the most recognizable dishes in Central and Eastern European cuisine? They often appear in literature and movies as a symbol of homey comfort and tradition. It is common to the cuisines of Central, Northern, Eastern, Southeastern Europe, and much of Western Asia, Northern China, as well as parts of North Africa.
Alright, I am now taking my magic stick and run it through the sauce with the cabbage, and then we are seasoning it.
I'm only going to season my sauce with a little bit of salt and pepper, and if needed, some more nutmeg, but check on that before adding it to the sauce. You also want to check the level of acidity, and if it is a little too sour, add a little bit of sugar or honey to the sauce as well, but that's optional.
And here they are, my German cabbage rolls. If you've liked this video, please smash a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching!